Hello and welcome back to the finishing line. Joined by Andrew, Sean,
live.
Tom is in the middle of eating a Chinese because we're a little bit earlier than our usual Sunday slot. So he will join us when he's finished, and we'll be doing an anti-post video after this. If he doesn't manage to join us, he will be here for the anti-post video. Yeah. How's your week?
Fucking fantastic.
Good
Counting
week.
down to D-R. F.
Yeah, you got that.
What the hell?
Sean,
there's too many three-syllable things. GSI, JWM, or whatever the hell is just
JBW.
Back. JBW, just back, Willie.
Sean, how's your week?
Yeah, all good. Another week, and just one more week to go on to the Dublin Race Festival. Not the best on the betting end, but listen, Dublin Race Festival 1 week away. Let's go.
Saturday was a fucking graveyard day.
Yeah, good few races to touch on. A lot of races, really, to be honest. We had Toyesti's Day. There's some nice races today, and yesterday just was a bloodbath. That's the only way I could describe it. But
it was one of those days where you just everything you back to second.
It's a mad old week on the old Twitter sphere as well.
Fell. What happened to her?
Yeah. Would you believe I managed to back a horse in a race and it fell?
Really?
Yeah, I like 2 horses in a race and I sided with one and it fell, and then I backed the other one in running because it was like, he fell.
Good times.
So that's the kind of weekend it's been. But it's been a mad old week. Twitter's been crazy as ever. Some fake bets from the blogger, as far as I'm concerned.
I haven't heard this.
Well, he's the only man that I can see with a Sky Bet account still that wins. And in a 3-horse race on a TriCast, I got paid 16 to 1 on the TriCast, and the favourite was 1 to 8. That really confused me.
Sir Gerhard's race?
Yeah, 16 to 1 TriCast.
He was 1 to 8 or something, and second favourite was what? 7 to 2? And he was 14 to 1 to third?
Yep.
Yeah, that don't make
sense.
So
I'm calling out them fake bets. It's bothering me this week. This like rolling on from the last few things, and things are bothering me. I don't mind Blogger. I think his old content is good, but them fake bets is annoying me. And then he's putting up pictures of people that were calling them out. So
we might get him now a little.
I couldn't care less.
On it. Any traction is good traction.
Yeah, absolutely. So fuck them fake bets, basically. Anyway.
In flying form today, Sean.
No, I'm in good form. Bar the betting. The betting's been terrible this weekend, but sure, look, it is what it is. I think this happened last year too, and I went into Dublin Racing Festival. Dublin Racing Festival reeling. I mean, up there and I was reeling, and I came out and I was delighted. But look, here, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Toyesti's Day, and first of all, touching Toyesti's, carefully selected. Once upon a time, put up for the Ryanair by Tom, and he's been out in the wilderness for many a long year, but done the job on Thursday. He was backed off the boards too.
I thought he got an unbelievable ride off Bottle Down.
Yeah, pity Paul couldn't do it last year when we backed Franco Laporte.
Yeah. But won well. I didn't win well. So what am I saying? Hey, beat Dunboyne, getting up on the line, battled really well. Where'd you go now is the thing. Look, what did I put up? Gentleman's Game?
No, he didn't even run in it.
Same colours.
Didn't put him up.
Same colours.
Pencil full of lead.
That fella. He was third or fourth. Third he got up. He only got going fucking 2 furlongs out. Yeah, not a race of much interest in now.
Yeah, we all kind of had horses placed. I couldn't even speak the words there. Horses placed, but as ever on Gore and Toyesti's Day, we just couldn't manage to get the winners. And Tom even mentioned carefully selected, but then said he wouldn't back him because he was too short. So, it was one of them days. Even we won a few pound on the old slot machine.
We did.
Responsible gambling, Sean.
We did. Virtuals.
Of course.
We started off with a bang with the virtuals.
We won a few pound. And we said, we'll go up there now, the 3 of us, and we'll split this on 3 horses. And we managed to get 2nd, 4th, and 5th. And still didn't get the winner.
Stephen Elliott, you're right. He did call Helmut Otto and Tommy's Oscar Yak. Then I seen your decide, that horse breaks my fucking heart. I love the bastard. It's the only time I didn't back him all season. He's like to win.
We'll get there.
Mother of divine God.
Sean, what do you think of the testes?
Yeah, Jesus, he got some right now. He went around very outside the whole way around. I thought maybe on the fourth lap was he struggling because he sort of fell back down through the pack. But Paul Townend definitely he got back just in time. I think he got an injury or he was sick or something like that, and that was
He
his
was
right
sick
back.
in bed, yeah.
Yeah, and Jesus, he was worth his weight in gold there. I thought Dunboyne ran a great race for me. That sort of came out of nowhere from a horse that was refusing to race at the start of the season to go and run there. It was some ride by Sam Ewing, so it was a great race, great finish.
He's an enigma, that horse. Right, he bolted up would have been 2 starts ago. He ran no sort of race to race after that. And now he decides to be second at Testes.
Yeah, I remember Tom put him up anti-post last year for the pretemps.
He fell off the face of the planet.
I never saw it, but yeah, I'd say he'd have a chance in a handicap at Cheltenham.
No, I wouldn't trust him as far as I throw him now.
No,
I wouldn't trust him as far as I throw him.
He could do a spin around at the start.
Yeah.
He planted himself one day as well.
Yeah, he refused.
But when he actually decides he wants to race, he's a horse you back him running. That's what it is. He's a horse you definitely back him running if you want to back him.
We'll quickly touch on Tihupo and Sir Gerhard as well. Tihupo backed up his win against Honeysuckle Classical Dream. Thought it was a nice performance myself. I see people on Twitter saying he kind of just sprinted. It was a slow pace, but look, he did what he needed to do, and I wouldn't necessarily think he needs soft ground. I just think he likes 2.5 miles or 3 miles. And Sir Gerhard came out. He left his hind legs in one fence, but other than that, just popped away. Looked all right. He is what he is. He's a good horse. What did you think, Andrew?
Tihupo, grand performance. He was entitled to win. The thing I didn't like about a second he crossed the line, I said it up at the track, he stopped extremely, extremely quickly.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been in Gorn. Obviously, it looks a little bit different always from the TV, but right at the finishing line, they turn again to go around. There's Garlic Scam there. Garlic Scam. That's
Garlic Scam.
That's the reason my phone is. They're fucking few prawn crackers.
Or lads. Or lads.
Oh, crackers and wine.
You're right, just at the wrong time. So we just finished off a few prawn crackers then. So.
Good man, Tom.
Oh, brilliant.
But yeah, he pulled himself up. He didn't want to. There wasn't much left anyway.
Yeah, I don't think there was, but 11-4 favourite. Look, it's wide open stairs. 11-4 favourite. He can stay at 11-4. If the rain came, he'd be kind of interested. I think it was a juice said that last year. He kind of, in the springtime, he kind of lost his form altogether.
Yeah, when he won against Honeysuckle, I said that would be the race I'd aim him at because it would be.
Go there for 2 seconds.
See, Andrew, he.
Not very professional.
What's going on?
Not very professional, just running off.
No, while eating prawn crackers. But yeah, we shall see. Sean, Tihupo and Sir Gerhard.
Yeah, Tihupo I was wicked impressed with now. I think he rightly put a stamp on the stairs hurdle there. He went around. I think the stopping quick might have been because Davey was pulling the brakes that far out. Like from the last home, he sprinted down to the last now, and he put length into them. Like I thought the likes of Longhouse Poet and all would be looking after this national mark, and he went and won well. Soft ground.
Sorry to cut across it. It's the whole when he was pulling them up. It wasn't a gradual slow down. It was I'm stopped.
Yeah.
But besides that, he done everything he needed to do. He beat Somerville Boy. You can only beat what's in front of you at the end of the day.
Yeah, I even come back to just his first run, like Classical Dream and Honeysuckle. Do we need to take a look and say maybe the Honeysuckle look is bad? Echoes and right. I know she came down. Has come out and bolted up today. I think we could have underestimated that race and taken him. I think if the stairs, if he goes on the ground, I could see him really in a wide open stairs this year. I could see him really winning it this year. And so Gerhard, geez, the one beside the stand, holy God, he 2-stepped into that and made a bad mistake. But then he went around, he popped the next few, and he was flying for the rest of it. I don't know how far he's gonna go. He was saying Willie was looking at stepping up the 3 miles from. I'd be a bit iffy about that for the first time at Cheltenham Festival.
Tom, any thoughts on Tihupo and Sir Gerhard?
Tihupo, look, as you were just saying there, or Sean was, he won very well, didn't he? But the form is shite. There's no two ways about that. The form is not very good at all. But then at the same time, he's got absolutely bolted up. So I don't want to take too much away from him. But at the same time, am I going to go and back him at, what is he, 4.1 on Betfair for a pound or a euro? So he's 3-1 basically. Am I going to go and back him at that? No. I'd rather back at these prices now. I'd rather back Home by the Lee at 6.4 than I would him at 4.4. It's a messy race for me. I think we'll get onto Gold tweeting that later. But yeah, no, that's a messy race. So Gerhard, yeah, I thought he was good. He made that mistake in front of the stands, obviously, but in fairness to him, he never looked like falling, even at that fence, I don't think. Like he ploughed his way through it all right, but after that he was very good. He didn't really pick up the bridle, which was interesting. I thought he didn't knock himself at all down the back. But when Paul kicked him in the belly, turning in and put him upsides, he latched on, and he went away and won well. So I'd say he's a Turner's horse. I don't think he's an Arkle horse. But no, he's definitely a competitor. It shows what they must think of him if they're willing to go novice racing now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's not. Yeah, the usual thing he would do if he had a horse this close to Cheltenham, he rarely send him over fences now, one run behind and going to Cheltenham. As Tom said there, that just goes to show how good they probably think he is.
Well,
he's a horse. He's a horse you could literally put over any trip.
It goes one of two ways. It either shows what they think of him, that they can throw him straight into,
or the rest of them are junk,
or they think he's shite and he get lapped in the champion hurdle or a stayers, so they have to send him chasing. But I think it's the first one, to be honest.
So Gerhard, and we'll talk about it, but Delta Work were two for me that just shows how mad Twitter is, because there was no in between. It was, he's definitely not for me at Cheltenham, or that was perfect. He's definitely going to win at Cheltenham. And Sir Gerhard, Delta Work especially, you had one end of the scale to the other. It was, oh, that's perfect prep. He bowls up at Cheltenham, and then someone else, no, useless. Only came third.
You love Twitter, don't you, Dave?
I just find it incredibly mad. Like it's the maddest thing ever. Like
we got a love letter and all off him today, Tom.
Yeah.
What's that? I know.
This all was still backhanded compliment.
Still fucking
compliment. Not a backhanded compliment.
No money made.
From Dave O'Keefe is like a full-on compliment. So I'm taking that.
No money made.
No money made.
No money made again. Anyway, we go on to Saturday.
Oh, brilliant.
One good race at Ferry House, the Mare's race. Astro Diamond done the business, and she's favourite for the Mare's novice now. Everyone happy with Astro Diamond? Because I think we all fancy her to win it.
Absolutely grand. Got boxed in on the home turn, got out. When she got out, she looked like she was always going to get up. Plain and simple.
Sean?
Yeah, exact same as Andrew. She was boxed in and got out and done the business. I think she won a bit snugly. The only thing now is that she has to carry that penalty, but I think she's good enough.
And Tom?
Yeah, look, she travelled like the best horse in that race, didn't she? And she's gone and won by a length or two. But I thought she ran well. But I'll take her on at Cheltenham. She'll be over bet, and she's got the penalty. I'll take her on.
So, no, not all of us are happy. In other words.
In conclusion.
Jesse Harrington's horse, Jatara, I think is going to be a decent mare. And I'd say she will be bought by JP because all her brothers and sisters were. So,
very true.
Off to Cheltenham, and this was like New Year's Day all over again. It was the hardest days racing and betting in a long time. I didn't think New Year's Day could repeat itself, but it got worse. The Triumph Trial, Scriptwriter looked like he was going to win and got collared by Comfort Zone. To me, the best horse in the race, Scriptwriter. Seen some of the stuff from Milton Harris saying that he's the lead horse in Ballydoyle, and once a horse goes past him, he just doesn't do anything. He stops. Hence why they try and drop him on the line. But
just Paddy Brennan. That's all I have to say.
Paddy Brennan's hilarious.
Mother of God.
He's funny. He's sideways, upways, downways. He's doing what Tom's doing there now.
Yeah. He's the most uncoordinated jockey I've ever seen in my life. He's nearly on his arse. He's over like this. He's like one of the wackily inflatable fucking men on top of him going around the place.
But you can't say don't try anyway.
It's the job done, but
Yes, the job done, but Christ,
You can't. You can't.
Patrick Mullins looks tidier than him.
Yeah, you can't say don't try. But I think Lossiemouth is.
The Triumph is sold up for the Irish.
Triumph sold up for the Irish. Lossiemouth, Blood Destiny. I think we'll have a 1, 2, 3 in the Triumph, Tom. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Comfort Zone is showing that he's a little bit behind the top ones. I think that's why, in fairness to Joseph, I think he's done an excellent. I know Kevin Blake does his placing as well with him, but I think they've placed 2 horses excellently this year, and there's Comfort Zone and Banbridge. To win the races they've won with those 2, I think they've done very, very well because they are just below the top class, I feel. Yeah, I think it's sewn up. I think the Irish ones are a good bit ahead. I think Lossiemouth or Blood Destiny is going to be interesting now. He's no slouch. So I think the Dublin Racing Festival will tell us a bit more. But the winner of the Boodles is Risk Bell. So.
Tom, plan might be out the window. She's supposed to be running in the Mare's handicap at the Mare's Dublin race.
Surely to Christ, he's not going to do that.
That's the plan.
Nah, I don't think so.
Who owns it?
Which duck told you that now? Duck 1 or Duck 4?
Quack 2. Quack 1 for yes, Quack 2 for no.
Dave, I can't pick you up on that one. Somebody, I'm going to name check him. Aaron Casey sent me the best text ever. Aaron's a long-term listener, so a really nice lad. And he said, It's For Me is looking really good for the bumper. He said, if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it's a fucking duck. I did something.
I haven't heard from a week or two. Aaron, if you're listening, give me a text. Make sure you're all right.
I'm sure we'll see him next week.
Okay, we go on to the cross country, and it was a handicap. Delta Work, in my opinion, ran a good trial, and he will take all the beating. Back in the last one, Deisha Abba came second. A stunning effort from Tom O'Brien. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I was taken by Delta Work. I can't imagine he was tuned up, and he was the other 2 in front had 15 or 16 pounds on him, and I think he went around. He had a good look at the last. Now I thought he could have got a bit closer if he didn't bunny hop that. But he went around, he jumps down fences fine. At come Cheltenham, there's no doubt in my mind that he reversed that form. And I think he's won the bankers of the meeting for me. Anyways,
Andrew?
Yeah, good performance. Giving lumps away. Joe, as Sean said there, his jumping as 2 or 3 out was a bit mad. I think he
his jump is not great anyway.
But
yeah, and I think the jockey lost his stirrup between the second last and last. I seen I think he's fixing his stirrup, and anyways, and they sort of kick a length or 2, and then he kicks him down to the last, and he just bunny hops it. But I think he'll improve on that.
Make a long story short, he wins by about 15 lengths in March.
Tom?
Yeah, I think so. Look, call it what you want to call it, a prep race, but there's no way he was fully revved for that. Not a chance. He's had a lovely jump around. They've got to run into him. It fills that gap in between. And I'm sure he'll be 100% for March. I can't see anything getting anywhere near him.
Do you like the cross country race?
No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But
Tom?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
Yes.
I really do.
I love a cross country.
I don't like it at all. I enjoyed watching Snow Leopardess jump the fences yesterday. She looked like she was really enjoying it, like that horse. But to me, Delta Work, he's the banker Wednesday. I think you can have him all in those doubles and trebles and all that kind of stuff, and he'll do the business. The Clarence House, the rearranged Grade 1 2 mile, editor the Geet. We like him on this podcast. We've had him mentioned numerous times. We've yet to get that money because he keeps being entered in different races. Done the business, good ride. Edward's face does what he does. He travelled behind an Argamine. He was probably the unlucky horse because he followed the wrong horse. And Willie Mullins, I think, was taking the piss saying Argamine didn't like the white fences. But I thought Editor the Geet was good. Probably that was his main day, and whether he'd win again at Cheltenham, I doubt it. But between the other two, I'd take Edward Stone with Arkle winners having such a good record. I think he can win in different ways as well. I think an Argamine is better just bowling along in front, where Edward Stone can be dropped in and travel behind, travel up near the pace. I suppose it leads to questions of Energumen's form as well. I like both horses, but if I had to side with one, for me it'd be Edwardstone. Andrew,
I think this is the last time you will see Energumen held up. Guarantee you the next day they will see him out in front, using his jumping, using his galloping. He stays forward. I know he won the champion chase by doing that last year. I think it's time to change tactics, go back to what he used to do. Out front, bowl along, and gallop him into submission. Look, Edward de Guy, he couldn't write him off now. That's two. He's had to backing up to a Grade 1 performance by beating the favourite and the second favourite of the champion chase and getting headed and battling back. I just think now, I don't think he'll win a Cheltenham. I personally think Energumen, if they change tactics with him and let him bowl along in front, I think he'll be a lot better horse for that. I don't think he doesn't really have the gears to pick up. I think the ground at Cheltenham last year suited him because it was soft ground and they were going to stop, and he can just gallop through it.
Yeah, someone mentioned there about him being held up Cheltenham last year. In all the races I've seen Energumen win, that was probably one of the worst ones. He bet Envoy Allen and Funamball Civilis. So, yeah, and just the way the race turned out as well, it was Shishkin not running to form.
I personally still think he's the one to beat. But it will come down to if they use him front running again. I would 100%. If they have him up the front as the lineup, I'll be backing him on the day. I won't back him before it. I'll wait to see what they're doing. If they're holding him up, I think he'd be done for two.
Tom?
Yeah, I was disappointed by that out of Edwardstone, to be honest. I know Willie's come out and said about the fences being white and whatever, but I don't know. That's it just feels like a bit of an excuse for me. It wasn't a good run at all. It's the first time he's really kind of disappointed me in his career. So yeah, the jury's kind of out on him for me now at the minute. Edwardstone ran a cracker. I would probably back him to reverse the form. I think Editor Dejit nearly went there. If you can get on some of those place only markets, I think he's one who will place in the champion chase. I think he looks very, very solid. It's screaming out for Blue Lord, isn't it? I think he's been the most impressive 2-mile chaser this season now so far. I obviously put him up for the Ryanair. I'd love him to go for the Ryanair. I think it all came down to what Energumen did, and if Allaho got back to the track. There's still no sign of Allaho. I know they're on about going straight there, but that's obviously concerning. However, whatever they do with Shacken, I'm not sure, but Energumen is now dented his copybook, hasn't he? So I think they'd be quite keen to have a backup in that race. And I think Blue Lord, for me right now, especially at the prices, he's still third favourite, 6.2. I'd be backing Blue Lord.
If Sean?
Yeah, I mean, Editor the Sheet deserved to stay in the sun, didn't he? He got away on the front. I can't see that happening again. He's had to get away with it twice now. He won't be getting that lead again come the festival. And Energumen, they have to make more use of him for me. As Andrew said, I can't see him being hauled up. I can see him being right up in the van the next time. Let him go and jump and try and nick his lengths there. Edwardstone, I think his race was ran getting to Editor the Sheet. I mean, if you look on the home bend, he was at least 15, 20 lengths behind at that stage. I think by the time he got to Editor the G, I think he was emptying and he fought back on the line. I was a little bit disappointed at the time, but when I watched the replay, the ground that he made up from the home bend home, I think that's where Edwardstone ran his race.
Do you not think, though, it was disappointing that he went past him? He just couldn't get the job done. I know you could say he made up X amount of lengths and so on, but when you go past the horse, and the caliber of horse that Edwardstone is, you'd expect him to put him away.
Look, I think Editor Jeet's a tough horse as well, and I'd agree with Sean. He made up the guts of 15 to 20 lengths, and then realised, I don't have to beat Energumen, I have to beat the thing in front of. Managed to get ahead, and he was probably just gone then at that stage. And right at the end,
that's not the way he has to be ridden, though.
I don't think necessarily. he attacked the right horse in the Arkle last year and went right away. He travelled in behind and he had Gabanaco to beat then at the last, and he pulled away when he won by 4.
And the Tingle Creek, like he wasn't stopping coming up that hill at Sandown. And anyway, so
I think they're right. The way they rode him was the right way. He just thought he had an argument to beat, and he knew he was going to beat him too, and then realised, oh, this thing is not stopping in front. So
The other side of the coin could be as well. That their GG could be improving beyond belief.
I tell you
He's
what,
definitely improved. There's no doubt he's improved. Definitely. Yeah. I'd just say that I'd give Edgerstone. I think he'll reverse the form, and I would obviously give an Ergamine another chance. I just think let's see what happens next weekend. But I think Blue Lord is looking the most solid at the minute.
Now, even with I just put this out there. Like Edgerstone did beat Blue Lord last year, and I know Blue Lord's better this year. Do you think he's had improving enough to turn over that form, even though Edgerstone has improved as well?
I think Blue Lord's a different horse this year. And it's mentally as well as physically, but mentally, I think is the key thing with him.
It'd be interesting to see Blue Lord. At the moment, I think the strongest piece of form is Edward Stone's winning Tingle Creek when he bet Grenadine at Grenadine's track. So that for me was that was the most impressive 2-mile chase form this year.
That'd be a good out race.
It will be. It's shaping up to be a really good race. The Cotswold Chase, grade 2. The Mad Horse, I seen actually done the business, which
broke my fucking heart.
I put him up, and when he was leading and then went back because Frodon took him on and said that's the end of this. Then he got ahead again and then he dropped back again, and I was like, well, he's definitely gone now. And next minute he comes along up the inside and still manages to make a mistake at the last and nearly choke it. But done the job, showed a bit of resolution. Protector Rat, we've all mentioned it numerous times. He just loves to disappoint you. He's one of those horses. When he's 11 to 10 favourite, you can't trust him. Sounds Russian ran well. Noble Yates ran well.
Noble Yates had one of the worst round of jumpers I've ever seen.
He's still there though at the end.
That's what I'm on. Imagine if he actually was true as a die. He was jumping into the arse of horses. He was jumping into his. He was starting off his right and going to his left, and he was all over the shop.
The triple really suit Noble Yates, but whether he's good enough is another story. But the 3 mile too will suit him.
He reminds me of not as good of a synchronized, where his jumping is dodgy, but God, he stays forever.
Santini.
Yeah, even that.
Because
synchronized one. I can't see Noble Yates win the Gold Cup.
He hasn't got the pace to travel and jump in a Gold Cup. Not a chance. Not.
Yeah, I can see him being like Tom said there, Santini or Chantry House. The first
on his horse.
First 8 fences when they're going hammer and tongs, he'll be out the back and he'll be too far back and he'll get pulled up.
Statler is a cracking bet for the Gold Cup last.
What price is he? I was only looking at that
8 to 1. Like how he's not clear second favourite, I have absolutely no idea. Nobody is still short on him.
Oh, it was on Racing TV. He won a race last year on this day, didn't he?
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. 8 to 1 is like
8 to 1.
I'll have a bit each way on that. I think Gallup Champ has his name on the Gold Cup, but I think this fella was 100% following home.
I've been backed at 14s.
Value achieved.
Value achieved again. You see what I mean?
Value achieved.
We'll do this quickly. We won't talk about this race too long. Who wins the Gold Cup? Andrew?
Gallopin.
Sean?
Yeah, I've no doubt Gallopin. Nothing in there would worry me from the weekend now. Hoy Senor still hasn't learned to jump and is still out winning races. Noble Yates, I had me worries about him and they were confirmed. How he's still second favourite is beyond me. But Gallopin, if he jumps around there and stays, he's going to take some beating.
Gallopin, Statler, Manila, Indo.
Tom, Gallopin?
Just exactly what Andrew just said. Jesus Christ, we don't agree on things half the time, but we agree on the 1, 2, and 3 in the Gold Cup.
See?
What is happening to the world?
See, it's become double race festival, and we're going to be drinking a lot of wine together, so we have to get along.
Acting it up for this week, and then by Monday we just won't be talking to each other.
Yeah, well, it really is.
The Cleeve Hurdle, good old Paisley Park, ran a decent race in third. To me, he's just too old now. Dashel Drasher, that poor horse just does not stay 3 miles. If it was 2 miles 6, he's always going to win. But the French Jack,
where did he, Tom?
The French Jack, gold tweet, done the business. I heard today, by all accounts, his trainer used to train Tihupo before he was bought by
he?
Corn, sent to Gordo. I don't know what to make of this race. Think the Stairs is a joke of a race at the moment, but there you go.
He'll be in the JP gold and green and gold next, I'd say.
Tom, French, what's going on there?
What's going on?
Yeah, Gabby Linas is one of the top trainers in France, so he's an excellent trainer, so he won't lack from anything there. I've come across Gold Tweet before running in France. He runs in lots of graded races over there. He's running grade ones over there. I think we backed him this year in November when he won. He won at Fontainebleau, I think. Yeah, a conditions race. But yeah, I mean, this is a big step up on his form so far to come here and do this. Look, he's gonna have his chance, isn't he? I don't know about anybody buying him because he's already won 270 grand in prize money in France. So I imagine they'll campaign him in France as much as they can, but they're going to have to come back for the Stayers now based on that.
Sean?
Yeah, Dasha Drasha, that just worry he just doesn't stay. Exactly what you said. 2.5, and he probably would win races. That's his dream trip. But that race was crazy. Now I wouldn't be carrying that form too far now. Paisley Park, I thought, was travelling as well as ever. In fairness, he didn't come off the bridle at all through the race and was going well, but they just got away from him. And I don't know what to make of it, to be honest.
That would be my one. 2 points about the race. Gold Tweet blew his handicap mark. He was rated 136. Imagine what he'd have done in whatever race at Cheltenham off of that mark. But the fact that Paisley Park didn't come off the bridle until they quickened probably tells you that they probably went slow enough. And Dasher Drasher, we're all sat here saying he doesn't stay 3 miles. He only got beat 3 lengths in that race. Paisley was staying on again towards the end. Don't rule Paisley out come the Stayers Hurdle, lads.
Andrew?
I have no idea what to make of it. As Tom said there, for Paisley Park not to come off the bridle until they're practically coming up the home straight was very strange. So, as Tom said, probably crawled around the place. I don't know what to make of Andrew. Dashel Drasher, I'd say to put him away now. Send him to Aintree for that 2.5 mile grade 1. He'd have a good chance in that. I don't think any of them are winning the Stayers Hurdle.
Yeah, the French horse has never been over 2 mile 6 in his life, so it's interesting that he seemed to stay the trip very well. But
the middle of watching it, he stood out like Christ.
He travelling
well, isn't it?
Travelled very well, yeah. I like Paisley. He's been a class horse through the years. I just think on the day, younger legs. It reminds me of the year that Penn Hill won it. Yeah. It's very hard to call what the a favourite or what's going to do the business.
And I think something that happened, we'll probably get on to her now in a minute, that happened the weekend is that they're potentially I think probably the Stayers Hurdle will be a mare this year.
It's a strange race. You get years where like Barracuda was winning it, Big Bucks was winning it, then you had England's Dreamer, Mighty Man, Flo and Porter the last couple of years. Then you get those in between years where the likes of Liz Nagar, Oscar won it, and so on and so forth. So it can be a very strange race.
Hell's Hill won it, was it?
Who?
Hell's Hill?
No, Penn Hill won it.
No, sorry, Nicholas Canyon. That's who won it.
Nicholas Canyon. Won it. The next 2 races we'll talk about, one today, the bumper today, and the Grade 2 novice hurdle yesterday at Cheltenham. 2 horses. We will in a sec, but I'm not giving Epitaph much time.
It's just my angle into some.
Rock My Way. You giving him any time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. We had Rock My Way win the Grade 2, and Richard O'Brien's bumper horse that was second to It's For Me was second again today to another Willie Mullins horse. But the lads' bumper pick that broke Twitter for about a day and a half.
Good times.
The form there, Rock My Way has enhanced it. I thought that Richard O'Brien horse ran respectably today as well. He was against the Willie Mullins 6-4 shot, and that's who bet him. So you must be happy with your bumper horse.
Yeah, I was happy enough anyway. Yeah, I think that Richard O'Brien horse ran well. You just kind of like It's For Me was so far ahead of that field. You just want to see the rest of them. Like, you're not really expecting them to go out and win bumpers, but you just don't want to see him fall out the back of the telly halfway around. And he didn't. And he's split the Willie Mullins and the Gordon Elliott horse. and there's a good way back to the 4-4. So I think that was a good run. And then Rock My Way has obviously stepped forward from his first run under rules to go and win on Saturday. So that's good form as well. I think it stacks up. And again, like in that point to point, he was far, far superior. So it's looking good so far.
Sean?
Yeah, it's looking good, as Tom said, the point form, and I just think he was so far ahead of them that even the fact that anything is coming out in behind and winning just tells you that he could be a really, really good one. And that Rock My World, I was a bit sick now we've all been caught wasn't in here, because I think he's a bit better than him, and he was just raw and doesn't do anything, and I'd give him a boost. I think Nigel Twist and Davis said he's sending him over here next week with the Dublin Racing Festival. I'd get a good line there. I'd be interested to see how he goes. And the bumper horse today, he done it well. He's a bit of a fruitcake, isn't he? I mean, he had the hood on and he was pulling for the whole race. The O'Brien one ran well in behind. I think he just outstayed him. But it's for me. I think all the lights are flashing good go now. The form is standing up, and I think you have a really good chance.
And another weekend, and another couple of mares throwing their hat in the ring for the Mare's Hurdle, which actually looks like one of the best races of Tuesday, in my opinion. We've had Maria's Rock, we've had Love Envoy. Yesterday, we had Epatante sluiced up at Doncaster. It's just like a piece of work. She's very, very impressive. And today, Echoes and Rain, mad as a box of frogs, but she done it well today. And just to mention how sad it is to see Bob just... the demise of a good horse, to be honest. And I've always questioned his form. His novice form wasn't great, but my God, it's just sad to see how
we have to question the form of Henry the Bromhead's horses.
Henry's are not running well, but it's just fences, hurdles. I mean, you couldn't put him back in the flat.
Today he was gone a long way out.
His jumping was appalling.
He was like, what's this thing I've never seen in front of me? What am I meant to do? Jump over this?
Sean, Epatante, I know you were strong on her.
Yeah, thankfully I'm back on the podcast today. She went and done the business. That the anti-post price was just, I know it's odds on, that's not everybody's thing, but I just thought at 4-6 she was a 1-4 shot, and she duly won like that, let me tell you. I think this will make Nicky Henderson's decision for the Mare's Hurdle a lot easier. I think they could push Marie's Rock up now over it. I think he'd give himself a great chance in 2 races if he did. And Bob Ollinger today, I said it last week, I couldn't touch him with stolen money. And me and Tom got a little match bet winning there, Tom, didn't we?
Yeah, 2 points. Yeah, happy days.
2 points each. So that's 2, 8 points. Lovely.
Thought you're taking it easy.
No, you can't.
But
just on 3 2 days drinking.
No. They all come in one go. You have to deal with it then.
Happy day. We get a picture of that, lads. We get a picture of the 8 points. Tom and the 8 points.
Bob is definitely gone. He showed nothing today. He was really, really bad. And the Bromhead form, as you said, he's currently gone at 4%. So it's not looking great for him at the moment.
Yeah, it's Henry's having a struggle. It'd be nice to see some of his good horses come back and do the business, but I couldn't be backing any of them now at the Dublin Race Festival. Anyway, they've been very poor. Tom?
On what are we on? Echoes and Rain, very, very impressive. Willie Mullins was on about her before the season started. He was saying that, they changed a few things around and different bridles and stuff like that at Cheltenham, and he's going back to doing it a different way now. So, I think she's going to have a hell of a chance actually in that Mares, which is a really competitive race, really, really competitive. Bob just doesn't look the same horse, does he? I did put forward that it wasn't a hurdles or fences thing. Everyone blamed the fences. For me, I didn't think fences made that much of a difference. That's kind of showing now this season. And what was the other one we were talking about from today?
Epatante
from yesterday, absolutely bolted up. And the impressive thing about her is how good at Constitution Hill.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I'm amazed you forgot to mention that. It was always the question of, was she running to form? And it was like, yeah, maybe she's running a bit below form. The form of the Fighting Fifth, I was thinking like, she is running to form. But to go out and see her do this just proves she's running to form. Constitution Hill must be an absolute aeroplane. Like, he is frighteningly good based on that form. So, yeah. I don't think anything's going to get within 10 lengths of him, are they?
Echoes Rain, very, very good today. Bob Ollinger broke my heart to see him. Oh, love him, but Jesus Christ. There's nothing left you can do to him. You have to try in 2 miles, 2.5 miles, 3 miles. You have nowhere else to go. You just can't see him being competitive in any sort of race, being grade 3, grade 2 listed, handicaps. He's too high in a handicap, be competitive than that. He's just not putting anything together.
No.
His first run of the season looked like Christ. Geez, there could be something there. Look, it's horse racing. It happens. Some just.
It is like an Ergamine got beat 4-9 there at the weekend and looked shite. Like, so.
Yeah.
But look, the writing was on the wall for him since last season, really, since Cheltenham. But look, yeah. Enough of him. I don't want to talk about him anymore. Poor Rob.
Andrew sad.
Echoes Rain, huge chance in the Mare's Hurdle. Had another very, very good mare to that. Epatante goes in there straight away. And I think, as Sean mentioned there, that makes life easy on Nicky now. You have Constitution Hill going to win the Champion Hurdle by 7 million lengths, I'd say. You have Epatante for the mares. And I would 100% stick Maria's Rock up to the Stairs Hurdle. I think she would have a hell of a chance in a race that looks, on paper, not the greatest. And she looks like a horse that's just improving with age. But yeah, I think all in all, Echoes Rain, great chance. Constitution Hill, the mate, will start etching his name on the Champion Hurdle. And Maria's Rock up the stairs.
Yeah, it's a very winnable race.
Two comments on the live show. One says Vauban will beat Constitution Hill, and another says Dysart would have won the Supreme.
Has no hope.
No and no.
They have not got a hope. I'm not joking when I say this. I genuinely think if they keep him over hurdles, he is going to win 3 or 4 Champion Hurdles. This lad is different class altogether. And like Tom said about Epatante, like, he's beating her 15 lengths plus on the bridle. Like, I haven't even fully stretched them out at all.
They won't get within 10 lengths. Nico will kick him in the belly, turn in, and he'll take off.
I think he'll get a lead off Stateman, I'd say, till just before the last, and he'll go bye.
His acceleration is scary. It's mad as well because he's the worst looking horse you'll ever see. He's just a rotten.
That's the thing with it. He's not a big burly horse, so he's not going to kind of have the weight to injure himself or put pressure on his joints. So there could be a lot
of the bridle as well, which is like we've always gone through, like masterminded sprinter sackers. You know, those horses are hard on themselves, whereas this lad like races behind the bridle. He's the perfect racehorse, lads.
Yeah, his acceleration is scary. And then the last one we'll touch on today, the best horse in Willie Mullins' Gerhard, Ramillies. Excellent horse.
Legend for Ramillies.
He done the job. He put his name. He did do the job, and then it was taken away from him by a stewards' inquiry. I think he idled a bit in the run, but where does that leave the National Hunt Chase and RSA?
What do you think on the stewards' inquiry?
It's probably the right thing. He color crossed him, so.
Yeah, you can't complain.
I'm surprised they changed it because they rarely do, but I think it was
the stewards and all that hit and miss. Like, what? It's tough one now.
Short and earned.
Yeah,
I've been throwing everything out.
Where does he
looked at you? What time are the sandwiches coming and the tea? There's a race on.
Oh, what happened there? Oh, okay. No, he can keep it, lads. He can keep it.
Do we still think...
put him out through the rail, though, sir. No, he can keep it. He took a false step.
2 Donnelly horses, 2 great horses.
On his back. It's fine.
He's grand. He's grand. 2
this
days.
Is definitely what happens in the storage room. No one knows what's going on. But 2 Donnelly horses, 2 grey horses, 2 slow horses. Which way did they go?
Me, I hope, because I've Galliard for National Hunt Chase, but I just think he's slow. I think Ramillies actually looked like he had a bit to him today, and in the finish, looked like he had a bit more to give.
He don't do anything.
He has not. Just go to the RSA, please.
Sean,
I have him at 7-1. Please go to the RSA.
Sean.
Looking at today, I just
Oh.
say a little prayer that we see Jerry Colomb stepped up to the 10 up at Navan on Nice, the last 3 mile race that'll qualify him. I think Gordo has to look here and not be too worried about what he's seen today. The Devil's Coachman, I can't see him in the National Jump Chase. Ramirez, I can't see him either. And what he's at the ruinous chances now with Chemical Energy. I thought he always was a dodgy jumper, and we've seen that today. He fell apart for his jumping. And he might just be looking and saying, is this National Hunt Chase a lot easier race than the RSA is going to be?
I think
So
if he runs there, he wins it. I put him up on which one? Ginger Joe's podcast, Anti-Boss, 16-1. I was laughed at.
Tom,
I'll give you one now for the National Hunt Chase, and I'm trying to find his bloody name. And
you might save it now for the anti-post show there.
No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not putting it up for the anti-post. But
Okay.
I one that is on my radar definitely, and I know it's got a reverse crazy form, but I think Marlin Mission, John McConnell Cross, to be placed at least in an RSA is bang there. You know,
RSA.
No,
National
not
Hunt
RSA,
Chase.
National Hunt Chase. Yeah, like the Cheltenham form is there. He looks like he's improving. He stays really, really well. I'd be interested in him. Kevin Lagange, didn't jump well. Not sure. It was obviously another prep run because Gordon said he was going to freshen him up and bring him straight to Cheltenham. That horse needs better ground. So I wouldn't completely write him off just yet. But I don't know. The pictures are still kind of developing in some of these novice chases, aren't they? I don't think we have everything yet. I'd like to see a few more bits of evidence and go from there.
Okay. So that was this.
Funny story about Ramillies though is I backed Ramillies, quit our WhatsApp group, the old Ramillies boom, left the house to go and pick Callum up, got back, checked the results. I won the money I backed on the exchange. The money was in my account and all. I checked the results and I was like, Ramillies second. I was like, no, he definitely won. Check my account, the money's gone. Not a good buzz.
There was
Value
a bad,
not achieved.
you've had a bad day today, Tom. But look, we all had a bad weekend. We all had a bad weekend. We're going to do an anti-post video. I think it's number 9. I think we're discussing this number 9 next. On Thursday, we'll have a live preview before the Dublin Racing Festival. So we'll go through the main race, Dublin Racing Festival, before we head up there.
So all of them.
All of them, basically.
Yeah.
Before we head up there, we'll give some of our best bets. We'll spend a little bit of time going through comments as well on Thursday. And if people have some questions wrote in and stuff like that, by all means as well, we'll be up there. You want to come over and say hello, do. If you want to come over and abuse me, do.
If you want to say hello to Tom, say it on Saturday. Because he might not be the best humor on Sunday. He won't talk to you on Sundays.
Tom's not the best when he's hungover.
It's Tom's dream of garlic bread having his day is going to happen on Sunday, and Tom's going to have a big.
I'm taking it easier this year, and my cut-off time for drinking is when I see Andrew chasing Lydia Histoff out the door.
Because you couldn't get up. I won't get into this. The truth will set you free, Tom.
Martin said good because I've been a little ignored tonight. Martin, we're sorry that you feel ignored. There was lots to talk about.
You were the ones I took the piss out of.
There was lots to talk about.
Trying to go through, keep people at 10 minutes stop.
I've NFL to be watching.
So we'll see you in a few minutes.
No, we're going to go through some comments on Thursday night. We'll spend about 10 minutes or so. We'll pick out some comments and see if there's any mad comments. Go on.
No, Martin. Back, we did give you a mention. You were the guy who said Dysart would have won the Supreme, and I said not a chance, and we all said not a chance. So we gave you a little mention there. Don't worry about that.
Tom's not happy with you, Martin. I have no ill will towards you, Martin. Please do the usual, like and subscribe. It helps the channel. Leave the comments underneath. The comments get funnier.
The comments that we don't need.
I read them. So, no, the ones underneath the video, not on the side, because they're on the side here, underneath there. And we'll see you Thursday. I'm looking forward to these anti-post picks.